Whoa. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Just getting set up here. You can see my murky, gross water, and just doing a little painting here while we set up. Noticed we had a couple of viewers on, so hey, why bother waiting when I've already started painting? I have a few invites for some folks to hop on the show, so we'll see them when they pop on. All right, looks like we have somebody on who's muted at the moment. I guess that's Andrew. Andrew, you gotta unmute yourself when you get a chance.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Alright, it's all good. I can jump on my laptop and get my webcam going, but the video, the sound quality probably won't be as good.
Oh, yeah, it's entirely up to you. If the sound is better here, then that's fine also.
I might just stick it on my main my main computer instead of jumping on my
Okay.
laptop.
All right, sounds good. Cool. Are you painting anything tonight, Andrew, or just joining in for the convo?
If I got my Relic Knight stuff in today, I would be painting, but they're coming in tomorrow, so.
Okay, that's cool. No worries. All right, so for those of you just joining, these are the this is what I'm working on right now. This is these are DGS miniatures. They make a game called Free Blades, and I'm painting these on commission. Somebody's actually using these for a D&D campaign, I believe.
Sweet.
So we've got a few of these working on. I don't know how much you can make out here. I gotta paint this guy's whole coat on. And it looks like Corey's joining the show. What's up, Corey?
Hey, what's going on?
Okay.
Trying to get my
You
camera.
working on anything, Corey? I can see your camera's not on at the moment.
I'm trying to get it to work. It's not letting me for some reason.
Okay. Let's let's turn you up a little bit because your sound is not that great. Let's see if I can.
I might restart my computer if you can hear me.
Okay, no problem.
Just because it's not letting me turn my camera on, so I'm gonna leave and then I'll jump back on in a couple minutes.
No problem.
Sounds good.
Right back.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, we're actually getting started a little early tonight, which is unusual for us. I'm gonna turn on Q&A here. There we go. Okay.
Looks like we got another guy that joined.
Yep. I got Viv.
Cool.
Hey, what's up, Viv? Oh, he's on mute.
Yeah, I think he's on mute.
Yeah, it's got an interesting, like, green flashing thing going on my screen.
Yeah, he's kind of like cutting in and out.
Okay.
Oh, I hear him, I think.
Alright. Still don't hear him, but that's okay. Sure he'll patch that up here in a minute. So, yeah, just for those of you
What's going on?
Oh, I think he dropped out.
Whoa. There we go. Somebody hop back on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep. You're coming
Oh.
in much better now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but like I think I DC'd or something.
That's okay. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a glitchy night tonight for Google Plus. It's nothing new to the people that regularly tune into this show. I think it's part of it too is like my ISP has been garbage for a number of months now. But you know, it's okay. This guy here kind of saddens me because he I don't know why, but I think of like a fur trapper, you know, some guy that's like clubbing baby seals or something while I'm painting this guy.
Oh god.
And it just makes me feel a little bit sad inside, but that's okay. I will continue to paint. Viv is back on, at least video-wise.
Yeah, he's got the mute on. So I found out that I can share my screen, so what I might just do is load up like some cards and stuff. And then if we end up talking strats, I can just use those.
Okay. Sounds good. Alright. So, I guess while we're waiting for everybody else, I'll do a quick recap of what happened last week. So, last week was Strategicon Gateway. This is the third Strategicon convention of the year. It happens in LA up at the by the airport, LAX, and I only had one day to attend Strategicon. So what we did was we hosted a 50-point Relic Knights tournament, and that was the very first Relic Knights tournament I've ever hosted. And I figured that most of the people there may not have their Relic Knights ready to go. There may be some people that are interested in learning the game, and they may not own anything yet, or they may not have anything built and or painted. So I ended up loaning out a bunch of my cadres and ran a tournament, which was kind of cool. 8 people attended the tournament, which is actually not bad for a game that's as brand new as Relic Knights. So we played 3 rounds and played only to 6 points because I wanted the games to go, you know, to be reasonably paced with the understanding that most people are totally brand new and needed to learn all the core mechanics and everything. So yeah, we had 8 people. It seemed like the Cersei games were finishing very fast in terms of either they were, you know, routes in favor of Cersei, or they were getting blown up really quick and their games were over. So Cersei was kind of hit or miss, but the first place player was playing Cersei, and he won by a margin of 1 VP. So it was pretty cool, pretty close. It was a guy that is one of the a Kickstarter backer, but did not know the game. So we taught him the game in the morning, along with a couple of the other guys. I ran some demos just before the tournament started, and so then people felt comfortable enough to hop into a brand new tournament, which is kind of a cool attitude to have. A lot of people are kind of timid about joining in a tournament, but I think once they looked around and saw that everybody else was pretty much brand new, that they were like, you know, screw it, let's give this a shot and just have some fun. So overall, I felt it went really well. The format I used was again 6 VP. We went 3 rounds, and I flipped all the scenario. I flipped the scenario for each table. So in other words, once you got your assignment, you would flip. You and your opponent would flip for hero villain, and then once everybody had hero or villain down, then I would flip the strats for both the heroes and the villains at all tables. So, and I felt that worked pretty well because it from an administration standpoint, it was easier to answer questions, and everybody was on the same page, so that you knew kind of on the table next to you the guys were playing the same strat as well. So yeah. So that went on this weekend. And let's see what else happened. Then last night, Andrew and I played a game.
Oh,
Andrew?
yes. Oh, yes,
Yep.
we did.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Oh, goodness. It was actually, like, really fast-paced, but that's expected from Cersei. Suicide Queen, literally, like, the first, third turn of the game, right? So, the first 3 moves of the game, Suicide Queen rolls up and just blasts Tugan in the face. And, like he gets shot into a wall and explodes. Like, the damage alone wouldn't have got him, but that wall damage was really crucial, which is cool because you're like, in an anime, you always see them getting thrown against the wall, and then they can't move afterwards. So, like honestly, since I think that was, like, my 3rd or 4th game into Relic Knights.
I think so, yeah.
And see, like, I basically know most of the rules, and I can somewhat hold my own after 3 games.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you how quickly you can learn this game, and how fast you can, like, you can just make cool stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in my eyes, this game is the game of cool stuff happens. Like, even if you're losing, you can just be like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna lay down all my wilds, and, like, all my whole hand, basically do this super uber attack and just melt someone if they don't have a guard.
Yeah, in fact, that was I did spend a lot of Esper on that one attack early on, but I had it and had a clear shot at at Tugan, who I knew was a very disruptive type model, and so I figure if I can take out a unit quickly, let's go ahead and do it. So that was shocking because I'd never. I don't think either of us have seen Suicide Queen yet. That was my first time fielding her.
Yeah, I actually, that was the first time I saw the model in general. So, but yeah, what's it called? I had a thought, and now I'm forgetting it. Oh goodness.
Uh-oh.
Ah, man, it's one of those things where as soon as I'm gonna stop talking, I'm gonna remember it.
Let me see if. Oh, I was gonna try to unmute Viv there.
Yeah, he keeps popping in and out.
Yeah, I'll see if I can try to unmute him the next time he pops in, so that we can hear from him too. Yeah. Looked like he was working in his workshop there, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, that looked really nice. I wish I had one of those. I kind of just paint on, like, a miniature table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's got pretty much like a whole kind of a warehouse area to do his miniature, all his miniature stuff, and he brews beer too. So.
Oh, that is interesting.
Pretty awesome, actually.
It's funny because sometimes, like, I'm driving through my community, right, and some people leave their garage door open, and I see this workbench with just tons of paints. I'm like, that's a hobbyist right there. That's
a gamer, right?
Yeah, and I'm tempted to go up to them and be like, like, what games do you play, or do you just build, like, the airplanes and fly them? Because that's actually pretty popular in my area.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you live close to me, right? I mean,
I do. They go up to Kite Hill, I think, is where they do their, like, airplane flying.
Yeah, that is very popular in this area. So that makes sense. All right. Well, let me check our YouTube for comments here. Sweet. Again, thanks for hopping on Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Uh-oh, an error occurred. The gamer, right? Whoa, quiet. One comment. Cameron says, "Hello." What's up, Cameron?
Oh, yo, it's Cameron.
Yeah. You guys know Cameron from Listen While You Play, right?
Yeah, I actually played against him once, like, way back in the days.
Well, that's cool. Very cool. Okay.
Yeah, I was actually talking to him about Arcade today, which is awesome.
Yeah, he's interested. He's mentioned that he's interested in trying it out. Hopefully, he can meet up with my brother or somebody in that area that can show him how to play. So he's over in Inland Empire, and I try to get over there, but it's been very difficult lately
Oh,
for me to
I
get.
heard from him. He actually did get a demo in.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so that's cool. I didn't actually get the chance to ask how the demo went or what he thought of the game, so I'm pretty
Okay.
sure now that he's hearing me say that, he's gonna mention it in the comments. So
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, Cameron will chime in here. I'm gonna actually heard something on my phone. Sometimes people send me comments on my phone.
oh, cool.
Whoa.
Think
That's
we've got.
whoa. Okay, that's a long one. And that one, I will read that one later. Okay. All right. So, Viv, I'm going to try to... Oh, wait. You're not on mute. You should be coming in now. I think.
Oh no, Viv's
Wait,
back on
no,
mute, but we got another guy in.
Hello, I'm back.
Yo.
Yeah, Corey's back. What's up, Corey?
Not much. My computer just hates me as always. It's because it's old.
What are you working on tonight?
I am working on Adolf Runner.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I've got lots of models I spray painted, so I got their primer on. But you gotta wait like 24 hours to start painting them, so.
Okay. Cool. And we got somebody in the Q&A section. Tabletop painting. Hey, guys. What's up, tabletop painting? That's quite a comprehensive name.
Oh, I finally remembered the thought.
Okay.
Okay. Remember how we were talking about how like you blew up Tugin early in the game. However, your following hands were actually pretty bad, if I remember. You said that, oh my
Right.
gosh, I have all 3 voids in my hand.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So that's the great balance of this game is you can have a killer hand, blow it all on an attack, get a model, and then for your next couple of turns, you're kind of like, oh crap, you're recovering, basically.
Right, and playing on the other side of that, like, you saw how much Esper I threw into that one attack.
Exactly.
You can be like, oh, he probably has nothing left for his guard or whatever.
Yeah, I tried to capitalize as much as possible on that.
And you actually did. I mean, you threw an attack down on her. I think early on you'd like taken half her life out, which was really strong. That put her on the back foot for pretty much the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think what I did was I pocket monstered Ekis, and then Delphine. Oh my gosh, I still can't
Delphine.
pronounce her name. Delphine. It's been literally, I've been trying to remember her name for like 3 days now. I still can't pronounce it. But Delphine, right? Since she's linked with Ekis, after he teleported back, did his follow-up move to Suicide Queen, she just pulled off a Sikkim, and I don't think you had the resources to block.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was pretty much boned the rest of the time. Okay, so Cameron chimed in. I have a demo lined up Sunday with Paul at Monster. Oh, good. That's good, man. You're gaming with my brother. You'll have fun there.
Oh, so he didn't get the demo in yet?
I guess not. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must have misunderstood. But yeah, I showed him the cards in the online rulebook, so he's probably got a really good idea of what's out there.
Yeah, and I know Cameron has kind of been he's kind of been peering over at what we've been working on here too, so he knows that we've got a lot of games going. I just put up our battle report from last night. Put that on YouTube. So
oh yeah,
and I know he watched that. So even though that wasn't, I wouldn't say that's not a very educational game the way I covered it, because it was just really sort of highlights. But you can at least see like an example of what some of the action looks like when you're playing, and some of the tactics that goes into a typical game.
Yeah, hopefully if we can come to CQ early next Tuesday, what we could do is set up like a kind of like a short what's it called, teaching video. What are they called? Demo videos or whatever?
Yeah,
Just
like
showing.
A tutorial.
Yeah, tutorial. There you go. There you go. Basically, just maybe a questing night, a unit, and like just a solo model.
Sure.
So that way you can figure out how to use your cipher, how held espers work, and stuff like that. So just like a real bare to the bones type of video.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
think
Andrew, by the way, have you met Corey yet?
I have not. I have not.
Okay. Corey's another. He's a fellow ninja.
Sweet.
For Ninja Division, and he's located in the like Oceanside Vista area, so just a little bit south of us.
Cool.
And yeah, Corey and I have been gaming together for how many years? A few years now, right?
Since I want to say 2012.
Yeah, probably like 2 or 3 years. So.
Cool. Cool. Well, nice to meet you, Corey. I'm Andrew.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I ran into Andrew at Tactical Tuesdays at CQ
Okay.
when I changed my gaming night over to Tuesdays. And Andrew, I know you're a War Machine player, so you're going to Tactical Tuesdays for War Machine games, right?
I did. It originally started with just me and my friends kind of going to find some pickup games for factions we weren't used to playing for the upcoming tournament. And then I was like, oh, hey, there's some Relic Knights over here. And then I got I got put into a demo, and I just instantly was like, wow, this game is really cool.
Yes.
So Corey, what's been going on with you? Well, actually, wait, no. Before we do that, we better finish our recap of the game because we just talked about exploding Tugan, and that was it.
Oh yeah.
I saw the battle report. I want to actually hear from you guys.
Okay. So yeah, after we blew up Tugan, after I blew up Tugan, Andrew's absolutely right. I had shit for cards for like the next, I don't know how many activations. I ended up having to refocus a bunch of times, and then I think during that time we were just sort of jostling for position because we both had strategies that required sabotage tokens. So I believe Andrew's strats were to try to destroy my primary objective or both secondary, and then his secondary objective was to drop, I believe it's 5 sabotage.
Yeah, it was tear it down and anarchy, and then of course the faction thingy scenario, which I couldn't. What was it? The attune tokens?
Yeah,
right?
infused tokens. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what Andrew had. I was playing espionage and carnage, which is tough for Cersei. So I had to try to kill 3 units for carnage, and I was trying to also drop 5 sabotage tokens, but they were a little more specific. I had to drop 3 on his main, and then 1 on each of his secondary objectives. But yeah, so the middle of the game, I think we ended up doing a lot of refocus stuff, but then you still were chipping away at Suicide Queen there because I was just having a hard time trying to generate anything. And anytime I did have Esper, I was using them for guards or armor, and so I think you were able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I was really trying to just like when I saw what Suicide Queen could do, I was like, oh goodness, Via Meta is like right over there behind a building. If she can get LOS, she's gone. So I was like, I have to just blow up Suicide Queen and then hopefully try and like piece back this game, right? So basically, I was just trying to chip away at you as much as I could. But I think one of the huge memorable moments of the game was definitely when we were doing the reckless. What was that reckless guard?
Oh yeah, erratic defense.
Oh god, that was like you could feel like the hairs on the back of your neck just be like, 5 cards. I could gain 5 armor or lose 5 armor.
You can lose way more than that if you think about it, because you can lose 2 for each of the big circle. If it's a big circle, you can lose 2 of them.
Yes.
Oh, exactly.
So you can lose up to like, well, I don't think there's 5 of each, but you can lose like at least 7 or 8, like if you get really bad card flips.
Yeah, I guess the max would be what, 6 plus another 3, so you would lose. Yeah. Well, no, because you can only flip 5 cards, so I guess the maximum would be would be 8
Yeah,
armor you could gain or lose from that flip.
yeah. It's crazy just because there's been a couple of times I'm like I should do this, but I think I ended up actually going negative armor. Well, down to 0. Like the armor that I had lost. It was ridiculous how it worked.
For me, I think, how many times did I do that, Andrew? Like 2 or 3 times, I think.
I think it was 3. One didn't help you. It actually got you, I think, a 0 net gain. One got you,
Yeah.
like, I think, a negative net gain, and the other was just a huge, like, I think 3 or 4 armor.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
was
one
all
of
on
them worked
Suicide
out, but
Queen.
the other. Right. One of them paid off. The other 2 were either a wash or negative.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the middle of the game was us trying to get position. Um, I was able to kind of clog Delphine into a corner there for a little bit, using Suicide Queen's cadre ability, which prevents follow-up moves. So that got kind of annoying for Andrew because I had him trapped against his own primary objective, and he had a couple librarians that were shuffling around to other objectives, but it was taking a long time.
Yeah, the librarians should have been more like beat stick or getting their AoEs down, the protecting ones that split half the damage with any model that's hitting the AoE. They should have been doing that rather than focusing on objectives, because having 8 overall movement is just not fast enough. I should have taken a squad of novitiates, which is cheaper and faster.
Yeah, and even like my build was a little on the slow side for Cersei because I only had the 1 Hell's Bell.
Oh, yeah.
And then my other characters were like 2 snipers and Lug.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that said, I was still the faster. I still had the faster squad. So I was kind of shuffling around, dropping some tokens here and there, while you're laying into Suicide Queen there.
Yeah,
And-
it was a dogfight in every sense of the term.
Mm-hmm. So let's see, that went on for a while, and then finally, you were able to take out Suicide Queen.
Yep.
But by that time, I had already scored my primary. So you'd taken her out and caught up a little bit in score, but I think the downside to that was your squad was still a bit on the slow side, so trying to catch up in points was going to be difficult for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it really was. And not to mention, like, since I was on murder mode, like, I kept queuing things that would just do damage, like Fiametta and Delphine right after each other. Like, and a librarian, of course, because I only had a few models. So I was just like, I'm going to blast Suicide Queen out of the water and then hopefully just outrun Betty and Lug. And then try and get my defenses back up.
Right. So yeah, and so I'd scored my primary, but I did not have. I didn't have the firepower to put down a lot of his units because 2 of his units were librarians. So I figured the softest unit left on the field was Delphine. So towards the end of the game, I switched strategies and started going after Delphine. And that's eventually where I was able to catch up.
Yeah, Fiametta and Delphine were both at around. I think Delphine she took 1 or 2 shots straight to the face because I didn't have the Esper or the guard to pull it off. So that brought her down to 1 health left, just 1. And then Fiametta was down to half, and I was like, oh crap, if he kills 1 of my units, either Fiametta or Delphine, I'm toast. So
Right.
I tried to stick. Again, to my ignorance, I didn't know that Lug had an armor breaking ability, or what's it called, a guard breaking ability.
An overcharge, yeah.
Yeah.
He had an overcharge melee attack.
Yeah, and that's when I was going for like just kind of camping Delphine right next to Ekis so I can do good boy. I was like, okay, she's safe. Time to move Fiametta into position, or a safer position. But
Mhm.
then Lug just walked around and smacked her in the face. So, yeah, I think he did like what 9 damage, overkilling her by 8 or something like that.
Yeah, that was pretty strong, and I was like, finally, I had the good cards to throw down. So
Yeah, the balance of this game is actually surprisingly good. At first glance, you're like, infinite range. A lot of stuff ignores LOS, and just, pushing a unit into the wall will just straight up murder most. But if you look at it at a different point of view, you're like, well, a lot of stuff can guard. So
mhm.
if you blow all your Esper on an attack, and then your opponent's like, I'm just gonna guard that, you're gonna have a crap hand for 2 turns. And you're
Oh
just like,
yeah.
oh wow, like, I now have to refocus, waste a Q while he's doing his scenario. See,
Mhm.
that just takes infinite range and, like, a lot of the ignoring LOS stuff out of the picture. Because the only overcharging abilities that I've seen are normally on melee attacks.
Yeah, I think they're more commonly on melee attacks. There are a few of the really powerful knights I think that have overcharge on either a ranged or a psychic, but those tend to be really expensive.
Oh
If
yeah,
you're
I'm
gonna buy
looking.
something like that.
I'm looking at Candy's card because she's going to be my new knight. And, well, first off, it's just such a weird cost. It's 3 yellow, 2 green, and 1 blue. But it's overcharge auto, damage 6, and if it hits the target, like if they don't block, which is really hard because it's an overcharge, you place an
Mhm.
AoE in contact with them, and they don't get their initial move. That's just
Oh,
ridiculous.
oh, that's right. We were looking at that the other night and disgusted by that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so for every held Esper she gets, she gains Recover, and she has Heal on her entire cadre. I was just like, this girl is a little strong.
She's a little strong. The I think the main downside though is your model count. That's going to be a problem.
Exactly, I only have 4. It's Dark Space Candy, Relic Knight Candy, Fiametta, Dark Space Fiametta, and Dark Space. Oh goodness, who's the other one?
Let's see, Candy, Fiametta. Um, um, who's the other one?
I
I'm
have
like
the cards in my file. Candy.
I'm losing.
Clean. Cordelia Clean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna have a blast painting and basing these models because I chose, like I told you over Facebook, the Candyland theme.
Mhm.
So there's gonna be like cotton candy on the bases. If you ever seen Wreck-It Ralph, that's where I got my inspiration. I was like, I'm just gonna watch.
cool.
Yeah, I watched Sugar Rush again, like that part of
Mhm.
the movie, and I was like, wow, this is great.
That sounds awesome actually. Sweet. So you've got so in other words, you have your cadre. It's being shipped over to you as we speak, right?
Yes, it should be in my hands tomorrow. Also, I ordered the what's it called? The Doctrine starter box. So
Oh, cool. Okay.
when we do the Cola Tugan trade, I'll actually
Yep.
have.
You're gonna get this Tugin here. So
Yeah,
I bought
oh,
this to get the Fiametta, but so I have a spare Tugin, and I got to remember to put that in my bag for you.
sweet, because I'll actually have a full Doctrine force at that point, because the box Tugan, I could proxy Dark Space Fiametta as Fiametta, and then I also have the Dark Space, what's it called? Zineda or something like that.
Zeneda, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So right there, I've got 2 fully functional forces for about less than like 100 some odd bucks.
That's nice.
Because most of it was from the trade.
Mhm. That's how I was able to get stuff early on, was through trades, and that's where I got my Doctrine and my No Empire from.
Yeah, I actually have to thank GW for something in my life.
Very cool. So, all right, so let's shift gears here. Corey, what are you up to, man? What have you been up to?
Living life.
Living life.
Paying
Okay.
bills. Right now, not too much. Just I went to do the SEA thing
Mm-hmm.
uh, last weekend. I had a blast. I'm gonna be doing it again in a couple months, and then I'm just trying to get ready for my demo day. So
Okay. So for the benefit of our viewers, real quick, can you explain what SCA is? Because some of our folks are not over here in the States and may not be familiar with SCA.
so it's Society for Creative something, and I'm sorry for all my friends out
Anachronism.
there. I'm just starting to get into it a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
hold on one second. We got the new kitty running around the house.
It's okay. Society for Creative Anachronism,
Yes,
which
I
is
can never remember that word. But so I went. Basically, it's medieval from what I understand. It's like a medieval era um, type setting,
mm-hmm.
and everyone, to dress, you basically dress up in the attire of the medieval age, um, and you can kind of choose whatever you want to be as far as like what era. So you see some people that are dressed up as Vikings, some people go with the Roman theme, and stuff like that. So we went out there and did that, hang out with those guys. We had a blast. They
And
actually
for the most part, what draws most people to it is the fact that there are fully armored guys beating
yeah,
each other.
with
Uh,
wooden sticks.
yes, with wooden sticks.
And I actually got in on a little of that. I wasn't expecting to. Um,
uh,
but the guys were like, hey, we've got some extra armor that we're gonna be able to bring up for you. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll participate in that. Um, I look extremely funny because I look really small in the armor because the armor is really big. But
yeah.
it was a good time. At first, I was a little nervous because there's nothing. I've never been hit with a wooden stick before, so with all that protection on, you don't really feel it as much. But it was great. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to going out and doing some more of that stuff. Um,
Awesome.
so we did that. Sarah's enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm enjoying it, so it's great.
Nice. So that's what you had going on last weekend. Have you been playing? You been playing any more Relic Knights since we last talked?
I've been personally really busy with work, and then we had
The new
the
kitty.
issue with our other cat with him
Mm-hmm.
passing away. So that kind of last week we kind of just took off and just stayed home to just relax and stuff. So
Okay.
not really much in the past couple weeks. Besides today, I just ordered my epoxy so I can start making bases for them. Uh,
Nice. So what are you when you do play? What factions are you playing?
well, right now I have the Doctrine and I also have the Corsairs. I
Okay.
put between two of those, and Sarah wants no, so we got her set up with that.
Okay.
Um, and then I also just got my Shattered Sword from Rory, so I'm gonna actually have to hold off on those, which is the main faction that I want to play, just so that way I can make sure I get the stuff I need to get done beforehand
Okay. Makes sense.
for my demo day, because I already put myself out there with so much stuff I have for hobby that I just
Mm-hmm.
run out of time for everything. So
Okay.
um, yeah,
Yeah,
so
I was talking to Andrew last night about
okay.
your event down there in Vista, and if anybody wants to carpool down with me that day, I am planning on going. So
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
uh,
the tournament day?
it's not a tournament. This is a demo day because the shop that Corey's at, I don't think they don't carry Relic Knights right now, do they?
they do not. And I know he won't carry them until there's actually a pretty good following of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so this is really to teach some prospective people how to play the game, and then we come down to it as kind of support just to show that there is a community growing behind the game. So
Oh,
definitely
when
look.
is that?
it is the 28th of September. I believe it's the 28th. Don't quote me. I keep forgetting the day. It's the last Sunday of this month, though, which is the 28th.
Mhm.
Yes. and it is from noon to 7, which is open to close at Paradise and Vista. And basically, like Octa said, we're just going to try to, get people out, learn the game. There hasn't really been a set date as far as the store or on my behalf as far as an actual day for playing it. So right now, I'm just trying to, get the word out there that, people are playing this game and that, yeah, I want to start it over there. So hopefully it'll work
Yes.
out. And then eventually get the word of Ninja out there as far
Hmm.
as the rest of the games that they play. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun and um, be good just to see some people show up. And worst case scenario, we get in just a bunch of games of Relic Knights. So I can't really
That is
argue
true.
with that.
Either way, we're playing Relic Knights, so I don't care.
So
It's
is
up
that? Oh, my bad. Go
No,
on.
no, go ahead. I had
Oh,
nothing really important.
is that event down south from us, Octave, or up north?
It's about I want to say it's about 35 minutes south from
Yeah, it's
us.
about 35 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes from CQ, I believe.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can try and make it to that because I might. All force is fully painted by then,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah, and like
oh
I
yeah,
said, we can carpool if if getting down there is an issue.
yeah, we can just like talk about that over Facebook and stuff because that might actually be a lot of fun, and I can show people some Prism stuff because that's still not going to be released for a while, correct?
Yeah, the dark space stuff, right, right. So that should be good times. I'm ask Corey to post it on our new, which is another kind of subtopic here, our new Facebook group that we just started today for SoCal Ninja. So today I talked to Ross and I said, hey, our Cypher group is pretty much where it's going to be. It's going to be a slow grow from this point, and meanwhile we've got Relic Knights, which is really just starting to hit I feel it's going to hit a jumping point here, and so we want to have a place where we can consolidate players and get them in touch with each other, and someplace that's not going to get buried in the activity of, say, a large group like SoCal Tabletop or the large Relic Knights group. So talked to Ross about it today. He said, "Hey man, do what you got to do," and so we opened up SoCal Ninja, which I'm really excited to be able to send people over to that are excited about either learning the game or trying to find players in their area. So yeah, it should be pretty good. I mean, this is a fan-run community, so we're gonna be the guys that try to motivate people to play, and for the ninjas like myself, like Corey, and the other guys in our area, it's a place where we can advertise our events and try to rally local support, because like in Corey's case, he's going in to a store where they currently don't carry it, and it would be nice to be able to make the point, hey, this is a game the community's excited about, and we come down, even though we're not local to his area, we can at least show that shop owner that there is a community growing around it, and that it is worth looking into carrying in your store. So
Yeah.
yeah,
that, and it's just always kind of fun to have these little Facebook groups. I don't know.
but yeah, that's just in itself a great reason to show up, is because if you show the community support and that this game's growing, a lot of people actually don't get into games until they see that, which is
Mhm.
and that can really jump people to action to the point where they can go up to the shop owner and be like, yo, I really want a box set, where do I get that? And then the shop
Right.
owner's like, you see.
Hmm. And Andrew and I, it's been our experience for at least the past few weeks that we've been playing Relic Knights at CQ. There's always somebody new that's just kind of popping in. Hey, I want to watch this game, or I'm interested, or like the guy last night. He had been looking at starters for him and his son apparently, and
Yeah.
just wanted to see the game in action.
And he
So
actually looked
just
at
the
the book
simple
too.
act of right, yeah, and it's a simple act of just playing in the shop, playing publicly, goes a long way to showing people that hey, there's interest here, and there's a lot of times where people say, well, I bought the models and I was excited about playing it, but I never found anyone who played, and that happens with a lot of these smaller games, and that's one of the things that if you have hung out with me for any experience time, you know that that's one of the things that I try to combat is losing people's interest because there aren't people willing to just kind of step up and say, hey, I play this game also. So hopefully we can get some real energy behind Relic Knights. There were some, there were still some stings from let's call it a not so flawless Kickstarter launch. So we're just getting past that, and people are starting to get their stuff together, and they want to learn how to play, and it's an exciting time for this game. Wow, that sounded preachy, didn't it?
Sounded kind of fanboyish, if you
It
ask
sounded
me.
kind of fanboyish, didn't it? You can call me on it; it's fine.
We were already talking about this earlier.
I think that YouTube's going to be a huge player in this getting Relic Knights known, because I was looking at the bat reps right online. There's only 4 on YouTube, or about 4 or 6, and
Right.
I mean, and ours is one of them, and we just shot that last night. So
That's
I
true. Yeah, my brother did too, and I think there might be 1 or 2 more else out there. So yeah.
Yeah, if we can get some demos out there and some more bat reps, I think that's gonna really spark something. Because first thing I did after our demo, the first game I ever played was like a month ago. I went straight to YouTube and was like, I want to learn how to play this game, so the next time I come into shop, I can actually see what stuff can do. Like to a good, like to not really a competitive sense, because underneath everything, winning is a part of the game, but it's not really that important to me anymore. Because after 4 years of War Machine, you're kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, and actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because last week I was on a podcast, with I guess it's Combat Phase, which is a mostly like 40K but also skirmish game podcast, and the host Robert Allen was asking me about Relic Knights because he doesn't know anything about it, but he said, hey, what do you think about doing an introductory series on Relic Knights the same way you did with Eldorado and Anima Tactics? And I said, well, that's already in the plans. So that's something that I plan on working on very, very soon here, because I agree with you. There's a very urgent need to get information out about this game. And with everybody kind of looking to YouTube these days to learn how to do stuff, it's a perfect opportunity. From Troy Perez, do you think Relic Knights, based purely on the rule set, is a better tournament game than the other current card-based skirmish game? That's a very long way to say Malifaux, Troy Perez. Well, I will tell you, I'm a little biased in that in this regard. But I'll try to look at this objectively. Relic Knights is one of the things that makes it a fantastic tournament game, in my opinion, is that the time limit of the game is better controlled by victory points than it is by size of game. And that's a very unusual thing for a skirmish game, right? I mean, like, for example, War Machine. If you want a short game of War Machine, you play 25, 35 points, right? That's a super short game of War Machine. If you want to play a short game of, almost any other game, Eldorado, or Anima or Malifaux, you basically take what they set as the as the tournament level, and you cut down, you cut models out of the game. Relic Knights is different. The way to actually shorten the game is by shortening the victory point total that the players need to reach in order to win the game. So people don't feel like they've been that they don't feel like they're being cheated out of a standard list, but they know that they have to act more quickly, more decisively in order to win games. So you've got that going for you. You also have in a tournament setting, you also have it's easier to check lists because you don't have the upgrade cards like you do in Malifaux. All the cards are set points. You can even check decks because a deck is only 42 cards in Relic Knight. So I don't think that would really be a problem for the most part, but you can do that. It's also faster. What I was doing by flipping scenarios for everybody, that's also faster from a tournament standpoint. So you can watch, you can help a bunch of players and help with setup times. So it does have some things going for it that might make it a slightly better tournament game. Some of the stuff that it has not going for it in terms of being a tournament game is the setup is longer than most other games because of the alternation in your putting objectives down and setting up your queue. You do lose some time there. But I think you gain it back in the fact that there's no turns once things get going. And you guys feel free to chime in if you agree or disagree. But that's one of my opinion. I feel like, okay, you lose a bunch. You may lose more time in setup in this game, but whatever time you've lost, I think you are likely to gain back once it comes time to actually playing the game.
Actually, I think setup really actually helps make it a tournament game because right there, as soon as you put a token down on the board, you're already adding strategy to the game. Already, just right there.
You know what? That's a great point. Yeah,
I'm gonna agree with that statement as well. I concur.
Yeah, the thing about it is, when I first came to RK, I didn't actually know any of the other card-based games besides Malifaux, which I never played. So I don't really know much. He could be
talking about Dead Man's Hand, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't, because I think I might be the only person in the state that knows how to play Dead Man's Hand.
Oh God.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt, Andrew.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, the thing about it is, since I still am technically a competitive War Machine player because I go to the tourneys and stuff like that. But I'm looking at that. I'm saying to myself, wow. Normally, even though scenarios in War Machine is already played out for you and the strategy starts there, see, the scenarios are completely different than the tokens that you lay out. See, you can put a token right in the corner of a board, but the thing is your opponent can counter and say, okay, I'll put my primary right next to your token. That's where the heat of the battle is going to be. And normally a lot of people forget that, is that a person who's going and placing second can easily counter what the person playing first is doing.
Okay.
And so right there, I mean, I think that's a huge part of the game, is the very beginning, because where you put your tokens maps out how the battle's probably going to look.
That makes sense.
Unless you're kind of just like, I'm going to roll a d6, place my token here, d6, deviation over here. I mean, that's a little bit more random, and there's not really much strategy put into that. See, a lot of tournaments and a lot of other games already have that set out for you. So a person could be like, oh, I already know what to do with this scenario. My army's really good at playing this scenario because there's one control point or something like that. So I feel like RK really just adds a whole dimension to the game by allowing you to place those tokens.
Let me ask you a follow-up question then, kind of in along the same lines of what you're talking about. Would you say that since you're saying that the placement of tokens and the alternate placement of objectives and units and in light of the other strategy management that you do during the game, like managing your queue, managing your hand, would you say that this game may be a little bit less focused on building a super strong list, as it is kind of fielding a good list, but then also you need to know how to manage all the other stuff during a game as well?
Oh yeah, you can have one of the most, well, I don't even think there is technically a quote-unquote broken list out there yet, but you can have one of the strongest armies with some of the strongest units. However, if you don't know how to play that army, and you're playing against someone who knows how to work theirs, you are in a very bad position.
Yeah, like
Because,
let's say there's a guy that he might have a list that doesn't look good to you, but maybe he knows how to score well in bunches, right? Is that what
oh,
you're getting
exactly.
at?
Exactly. You can look at it and be like, I don't really see how that unit's going to be important. Like, to me, at first when I played this game, I was like, ciphers don't really seem that important to me.
Huh.
However, looking at Shattered Sword Cipher Rook and just the craziness you can do with Sebastian is amazing. Like, a lot of the ciphers are key to some armies, including Doctrine, and that's why I really like them.
Yeah, I just think that there's so many layers and so many moving parts that you really can't say that your list is definitively going to beat another list in
Oh
this
no,
game.
that's literally impossible. I think because there's so many different scenarios as well.
Yeah, and you have to build for balance too because of the multitude of win conditions. Often you may have conditions that require your list to be fast, or they may require your list to be a little killy, or they may require your list to be a little sturdy. So building for balance is rewarded in this game, which is also really cool. And you just have to be prepared for what your opponent is going to do better than you do, because it's inevitable that your opponent will do at least one thing, significantly better than what you do.
Yes, and were you saying something?
No.
Oh well, basically, yeah, you've got a really good point there. Is that you can have some of the strongest units in the game and be like, yeah, I have overcharge. You can't block this type of business, right? And he's gonna go out for blood, and that's what he does because he's like, I like seeing stuff blow up. That's cool to me. That's how I like to play the game, right? And sure, he'll one-shot some of your stuff because you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna guard, and you're like, nope, overcharge, and then you'll see stuff just blow up. And the player who's playing that that super aggro army, I guess you can say, won't notice a lot of maybe your speedy units or the underlying strategy that you had of saying, oh yeah, I place my objectives in the setup better than yours, and I'm just starting to put those points on the objectives, and you're at 3 points right now for killing 3 of my units, but I'm at 5 because I did my primary.
Right. Yeah, you could turn around and that guy, you might think, and actually, this has been my experience demoing the game too. When I demo the game to, some veteran wargamers that really are used to just trying to burn stuff down, it'll be like, 25 minutes in, and I'll point out, hey, nobody scored a victory point yet because you guys are still trying to kill each other. So you see stuff like that, and it really is a rapid departure from most skirmish games out there.
Yeah, and you can play a lot of cat and mouse in this game. So that's another way to sort of go around the, oh my gosh, I'm just going to get one shot by that thing type of deal. I think another thing that I was going to mention is that a lot of people think that these units are one-sided, but they're not. Like Sebastian Cross, I was looking at his card the other night, and you automatically say, wow, he is a beat stick and he's a tanky guy, but how is he supposed to get to combat? And I mean, there's the obvious ones. He's got his pull, he's got his you know, all that goodness right there. But what you can do with the setup is just amazing. You can be like, you know, I want my primary objective right in the middle of the board, and I want my secondary over here or something like that. And then he can see where you place your primary. And then from there, he places Sebastian right next to his primary objective, saying, if you want it, come and take it. But I'm just going to pull you in and smack you in the face or something like that, right? And you've got huge board control at that point because it's, what, a 9-inch range pull or something like that?
Yeah, it's pretty. I think you're right. I think it's a compel 9 or something like that.
Yeah, and if you're right in the middle of the board, that means you're about 1.5 feet away from everything. So that right there is only 15 inches. So you're pulling something from all the way across the board, 9 inches towards you. He's only 6 inches away. That's real scary for being 6 inches away from a big old Relic Knight.
Relic Knight, yep.
Yeah, and not only that.
And
oh, go for it.
I was just saying that that's kind of the point that Jose was making to us last night. Was that, hey, you know, a lot of people think Cross is just a slow dude that's tanky, but he has the castle ability through Rook that can get him across the board quick, and then exactly. He is just the guy is just brutal when he's pulling you in and beating you to death.
And not only that, but what you could do is, based on the setup, you can put Rook 9 inches away from their primary objective, put him in the ready Q1, just run him directly towards your enemy's primary. And since he's a cipher, they can't do diddly. So while Cross is controlling the middle of the board and your other units are capping objectives, he can be like, oh, do I need to go to my opponent's primary? I'm just going to castle, and then I'm there.
Right. Yeah, what I would point out is this game is more about being disruptive to your opponent than necessarily just trying to wipe them off the board. You know, a lot of times it's more valuable to get an opponent out of position or to disrupt his activation queue. That a lot of times that's the better choice than, you know, just trying to do straight damage to somebody. And I love that about this game.
Oh, exactly. Like, nothing is really, I want to say, straightforward. There's so many little, nothing is, it's not rock, paper, scissors. There is no, oh, I am the shooty army, so that means I'm just best at this type of deal. And I find that in a lot of the War Machine games that I'm grabbing, is that I play a lot of Signar, but someone across the board of me is playing a ranged-oriented list that isn't Signar. And my friend and I were having a discussion about this. He's like, you know, it kind of feels wrong that a faction is just given the title of, oh, you should have the best range thing, page 5 this, ability Warcaster, like, in the game. Like, so, to my mind, I'm just like, wow, like, how are the other armies supposed to feel if they go to a tournament and they see across the board, yeah, I'm playing a Signar ranged army and you're playing a different ranged army that isn't Signar. And then at that point, you're kind of like, well, I guess I'm just going to either dice it out, hopefully major outplay you, or win by scenario. Because I just can't keep up with your shooting. So.
Okay, so another comment here from Troy. I haven't played a lot of games of Relic Knights yet, but I find with how specific the rules are in Malifaux that a game result can really be screwed up by somebody not following a rule correctly. In the last 2 tournaments of Malifaux I've played, I could have won some games had my opponent not forgotten or misread a rule. I like that the rules for Relic Knights are simple, but still leaves room for a lot of strategy. And I think that's kind of what we were getting at, that, you know, it's so much more than just looking at a stat line or looking at spamming an ability on a model, as it is how can you actually play it? How do you manage your activations on the board? How do you manage your deployments? And how do you manage your queue? How do you manage your hand? Those take up such a, you know, if you were to imagine victory being a pie piece, those take up so much more of that pie than list building for this game than comparatively a lot of other games out there. And it's one of my favorite aspects of the game is that fact alone.
Oh yeah, I actually think that something that would be really cool at a con would be you go up to the director of the tournament, or this is how a special tournament would be played. He just rolls a d6 of basically how your list is going to be built. He says you have a night to learn these cards, use them the best you can. And see, the game is built around, it doesn't matter what list you're technically taking. It's just how you play the models. So technically you can get up to I don't want to say professional because there is no technical pro scene in Relic Knights, but you can get really good with an army in a matter of a night by just reading the cards that you were given and seeing the little synergies that can be brought up between a knight and a unit, or all that business.
And the part that can really the part that can really jack you up too, though, is let's say you did that all night and you learned all your synergies, but then when it comes time to play, you screw up your activation order. Well, then you just lost your synergies. So
exactly.
Again, you can. There's a lot of stuff you can do kind of in the, I guess, the research phase, but you really got to be able to put it all in practice to be good at the game.
Of course, and I mean, if you place one objective incorrectly and your opponent capitalizes on that, you are in a very, very bad position. So say you put your primary in, like, I don't know, a building with a bunch of boxes surrounding it or something like that, where it's really hard to get to, and you're playing Shattered Sword, your opponent's playing Cersei or something with thruster packs. You're like, okay, I'm either going to have to crowd that objective with a bunch of models and just kind of sit there waiting for my opponent to fly over and kind of just place his tokens on it, or I'm going to have to spend a turn climbing up these buildings and just, like, trying to get to my opponent while he dances around me. See, that right there is just such a huge deal. Not saying that it will completely ruin the game for you. You're like, oh, well, I'm going to just concede now. No, you still have a fighting chance.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the activation queue kind of has a built-in comeback mechanic in that, when you're shorted models, that means that model's going to have multiple activations.
Oh, exactly.
For your opponent. Let's see, a couple of other comments here. Minutes on the Sun hopped on. Hey, what's up, Octave? Perfect timing this week. Got the kids sleeping, and then finally sculpted tonight. What's up, man? Yeah, John John, myself, and Viv are all part of the New Dad Club. So we're going to form that Facebook group soon, the New Dads of miniature gaming.
That's awesome.
And I totally understand the nights where you're trying to put the little guy down and he won't go to bed, and thankfully my wife is really, really cool about, hey, you can do your show, and I hope little guy went to bed already or we're in for a long night. So yeah, it sounds like you're back sculpting. Awesome, man. Can't wait to see more of your stuff. Really, really enjoyed what you shared with us last time. And yeah, let us know if you want to hop on and chat. That'd be fantastic too. Looks like Viv is still trying to get the headset and mic working, but I think he's gonna settle in for viewership at this point. Sorry about that, Viv. Hope you can hop on next time, man, because it's always good to have you on. So yeah, we've been talking a lot of Relic Knights. Corey, you still there?
Oh, of course.
Okay. You haven't fallen asleep or anything on us?
No, I try not to when I'm painting. I don't want to ruin the models any more than I already do when I paint them. So.
Very cool. Okay, so the next mini topic I want to bring up, and this is brand new, just today, is like I said, I was on the podcast the other week with a guy named Robert Allen from Combat Phase, and he introduced me to a charity called Extra Life. And I'd heard of Extra Life in the past, but I was always thinking that it was a video game type of charity, and for the most part it is. But Robert explained to me, hey, no, we're doing Tabletop 2, and then it kind of reminded me, hey, last year Ross did one. He did an Extra Life event with his friends, and they did mostly tabletop games, which was awesome. Anyway, the gist of Extra Life is that you collect pledges to play tabletop games, and the goal is to raise $100 and try to play 24 hours straight of tabletop games.
Oh, I can do it.
Now, it is a charity, so you don't have to do both. In fact, I'll be honest here, as part of the new Dad Club, I will probably not be capable of playing for 24 hours straight. I think my wife would murder me, as fun as that sounds. But, you know, we could probably do some fundraising, which is great. So, anyway, long story short, I went ahead and registered Play It Painted as a team on the Extra Life site and got in touch with the local guy here. And so, as it turns out, the next Relic Nights event I have is at Comic Quest. It's going to be a tournament, and I figured, hey, let's make that an Extra Life event. So, you know, if you are, in other words, if the admission fees for the tournament are all going to go towards Extra Life, and if you are already registered for Extra Life, then you don't need to pay any fees, and you're automatically entered in the wonderful prizes that we will be giving away for the day. So I'm really excited about it. You know, I last year I did one charity thing for the hurricane victims, typhoon victims over in the Philippines last year. But this year we're going to do Extra Life, and I would invite anybody who is interested in helping out with this, or you know, just to either donate or come attend the events, or you know, get involved, because this is for Children's Hospital, and ours is going to be for Children's Hospital of Orange County. And, you know, with us being the new dads, it is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. So, really excited to get involved in that. So that was my sale. Do you guys? Well, let me ask you guys. Are you guys familiar with Extra Life, or have you done anything like this in the past?
You can go first if you'd like.
I actually have not. I've done charity war machine tournaments before, like the toy drive and the food machine.
Food machine, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually heard of Extra Life before.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. I mean, if you do attend our event on the 25th, just know that your admission fees and any other donations that you would care to kick in are gonna go directly towards the Extra Life or Children's Hospital.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely show up, even though I might show up a bit late for the tournament. But I'll try and scrounge up something for the charity.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, any little bit helps, and so that we really appreciate it. What about you, Corey? Have you any involvement in any of these charity things today?
Yeah, so for myself, the same thing. When I used to play War Machine, it was just a food machine that I would do. And thanks to that great video the website that you posted on, I checked out the video as soon as you told me about it. And I learned a lot. I didn't even know what it was until you said it, or until you showed it on Facebook. So I'm definitely gonna do my best to make it out there if work allows.
Sure.
And you know, when you were like, you know, you can donate, and I was like, well, I wonder what I could do, because there's no way, I don't have no way of raising $100 myself.
No, I think you can. I don't know. You'd be surprised.
I mean, I probably could, but you know, I think it's going to be easier just to, you know, help participate in your event.
Sure.
But then I remember what you did last year with the typhoon stuff, and I was thinking maybe if you know, if someone would donate, well, you know, I don't want to say I'd paint them, but something like that I think would be cool. Is another thing to put towards a tournament, people that show up, offer
Sure.
like a secret, like a bid towards getting these models that you might paint up yourself or something like that. I thought that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, sort of raffle.
Yeah, or like a raffle for a model or something like that, to help raise if someone's willing to donate stuff.
Yep. I am already on it, sir.
I know you are.
So yeah, there will definitely be stuff of that nature at the event. I'm getting excited about it too, because
I did do that. We did do that charity event with Malifaux. At
oh, that's right. Yeah. At Thou Shalt Game.
Yeah, and I actually bid the highest on a table, so I ended up winning it. I ended up donating like $45 for a gaming table that someone
Yeah,
had donated. So
I won a KR bag. I
yeah,
remember.
I thought that was really cool. So I'm looking forward to it, and I definitely plan to attend. So
Yeah, and you know, it's Relic
it's
Knights. I'm
good.
actually considering expanding out the event a little bit just to try to catch a few more people. You know, maybe we'll include some just a Eldorado Open play or something else. I think the main draw is going to be Relic Knights tournament, but you know, it'd be nice to have a
Probably.
few people that maybe they don't play Relic Knights, maybe they just want to come down and game. So we
Yeah.
can do stuff like that too. I have a Play It Painted has a team. We're registered as a team on Extra Life. So what you can do if you are interested in like being part of the fundraising part, you can register on the site and then select us as your team, and we share a team goal, which is kind of cool. And for being a team, we get access to maybe some higher level donation swag like T-shirts and that kind of stuff. So that's always fun.
That'd
Um,
be cool.
but yeah, I'm really excited about it because you know, charity stuff is always fun, and um, if it's a charity excuse to game, I'm down because that's the
Yeah.
best. I think that's like one of the best type of events that you can be
Yeah,
a part
giving
of.
and
Whether or not
gaming.
you're, it doesn't matter if you're hosting an event or if you're just there to game and you know it's going to be for a good cause like Children's Hospital. Yeah, more power. So the good stuff. Let me. I know Viv is on, but still no audio yet. Hey Viv, let's try the. I tried unmuting you a couple times, but it doesn't look like that's working. But that's okay. You can type in chat, or we can. We are patient. We still have time. Want to hear from you about some of these topics that we're discussing here. And I'm going to reload comments again. Once again, thanks for tuning in to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Okay. No. Oh, I have a challenge for you guys. Get me as psyched as possible for Relic Knights. Well, I think we did that. I don't know. If Cameron is saying that we have not yet got him psyched about it, maybe we need to work a little harder here.
I remember creating like I don't remember, a pros and con comment on Facebook a while back, and I think there was a couple of really good points in that. This game is actually like one of its main sellers to me is that it's such a cheap side game or even a main game. I mean, you just spend. I mean, okay. I always say, like, support your store, but sometimes when you're on like a college fee, you got to go through the internet. And I mean,
Yeah,
Amazon, you can get some really cheap stuff, like even eBay. But Amazon, you can get a full fighting army, everything you need to play, for $60-ish, and you
that's
get
true.
a brand new game, a whole new game, for what would cost normally hundreds, and it's tournament ready too, which is amazing. So for normally just to start another game, it's around $100.
Yeah, that's about right.
So cost is one huge thing about the game that's awesome. And I mean, like, I got 2 full factions that I'm gonna sort of kind of like, oh hey guys, go into my friends, go up to my friends and just be like, hey guys, I got this new game, I got 2 factions, want to
Hmm.
play, type of deal. And like, I mean, that cost me not that much actually, especially since I traded for the models.
Yeah,
So the actual money value that I put into it, and I'm even including the exchange we did for tokens and a playmat. I put in only $50 into the game, and I have 2 full functional factions.
yeah, that was pretty savvy. You're also able to cash in on some people that may have pledged for too much and are selling selling their extras at low prices, and so it's a good time to hop in, I think.
Oh, exactly. If you jump onto the Facebook page, I mean, I was even tempted. A guy selling Shattered Sword, $80. You get Cross, a starter box, and an extra unit. $80. That's unbelievable. Cross himself is $50 plus tax.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, you're getting more than you need. And I mean that's just amazing. $80, and you're getting like everything that you'd ever want for a faction in this game.
True.
So not only that, but the strategy in this game is super good. Like at first glance, you're kind of like, wow, everything has infinite range. Some stuff doesn't need LOS. Push something into a wall and it takes damage. Like, and the amount of terrain on the board, etc. You know, you're kind of like,
you're ready to rage quit. You know,
you're ready to just QQ. Whoever gets first turn blows up a model wins, basically. And but once you play a couple of demo games. 2 games and actually 1 game and I was sold, but 2 games and I was just like, they sealed the final nail on my coffin for my wallet. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to bust out some trades or some money and get into this game because it's just that good. And I have a feeling you'll get the most psyched when you're actually moving the models, because I can't really describe how awesome it feels just to micromanage everything in that game. You're like, all right, my queue's up. What do I need? What held espers do I need for my next guy? And what espers in my hand can I use to capitalize for my next guy? While also trying to think of blocking and guarding and also doing what's ready. Like, what can I do? What attacks can I do without completely screwing myself and having to refocus for 2 turns?
Cool. Nice. Very, very impassioned speech there.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like that.
I've gone pretty fanboy. I won't lie. I mean, I think I was telling you guys earlier today. I'm like, yeah,
Sure.
it's basically locked for me. I'm pretty much fanboy into the game now.
Oh yeah, it's GG for me. I mean, even my like big con, which was, oh wow, like they're objectifying women in this game. I took that and flopped it on its head. I'm like, wow, you know, I can run a really strong like female-based army and just green stuff or paint them a little differently so they're not as revealing. And then I'll just be like, wow, you just got beat up by a bunch of girls, man. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, I hope that makes you feel good about objectifying women, huh? It's something like that. It's like, nah, these girls can kick ass, which is really awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, that was that is, and I do see that you know, for some folks that is a sticking point, and I tell people straight up, if you don't like anime, and Cameron, we know you love anime, so we're not even going to pretend here. But if you don't like anime, it can be difficult to. It might be a little bit challenging to get into the game. But even in that case, the people that have told me straight up that, hey, I don't like anime, have told me that, but this game is worth playing to me, and I still intend on playing it. So that's actually a pretty huge statement right there, because for me, theme is such a huge part of why I want to get into a game. And if I don't like your theme, but I'm playing your game anyway, then you know your game definitely has something going for it. That said, I am a huge fan. I can't even say I'm a huge fan of anime. I just like the aesthetic, the anime aesthetic, and I like the ridiculous action style that these anime themed games have, and so I'm totally good with that. But yeah, I have told people, okay, anime theme, it's kind of it can be a polarizing thing. Also, while I love a lot of the miniatures in this game, there are some that I just don't think should have been released the way they were. And I'm just being honest here, and you know, take this for what it is. I am a volunteer for them, but I will say that some of the miniatures for me didn't quite reach expectation. And then, you know, this is a V1 game, so there will be stuff that's a little bit quirky. It may be, in some areas, it may be difficult to find players for the game, or it may be difficult to find products on the shelf. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, these are normal to me. These are normal problems with a V1 game. But yeah, I gotta say, man, I'm in. This is an exciting game. The more I play it, the more I really come to appreciate really what's going on beneath the surface, because this game does have an awful lot going on beneath the surface. So really excited about that. Anything to add, Mr. Corey?
I have to concur with all the statements. I'm pretty. I mean, I haven't played in a while, unfortunately, not as much as I want to be. But I'm just hearing you guys talk about it makes me happy. Just that people are starting to get into it. Yeah, and I never met you before, so just hearing you being like I saw it for one day and I loved the game actually kind of makes me really happy. So people are actually out there and they want to play the game, and that coming from. I mean, you said you play a lot of War Machine and stuff, so I'm definitely glad to bring in a group of people that want to do something different instead of the normal D6 game. Makes me kind of happy. So
Corey, speaking of which, how are your Tuesday nights looking?
Right now, it's kind of iffy, because if I start getting into this SCA stuff a little bit more, I can actually go and actually practice and learn how to do things as far as the fighting
That's
stuff.
true. Yep.
And those are on Tuesday nights, or every other Tuesday night at least.
I see.
So that's
No, I was just talking about a one-off, because I know it's a drive for you to get up here.
Oh yeah, no. If I gotta work early, then I will totally be down to come up one day and play.
Nice.
But me getting out of work sometimes between 4:30 and 5. And then having to make the from my house it's about an hour and 15.
Sure.
It's a little bit of a drive. If I don't get out of work until 4, I don't get home until about. Or if I don't get out of work until about 4:30, I don't get home until 5. Eating and changing and getting ready to come down. I might not be down there until about almost 7:30. So only be able to get in one game. It kind of stinks. Especially to me.
Yeah, I totally hear you.
Yeah, for an hour drive is crazy.
Yeah, so that kind of stinks. But if I get out of work early, or at a decent time, I totally don't mind coming down.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and when I'm
Well,
gonna start
also,
dorming. Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was. It's okay. I was just gonna say, Larry hopped on and say, "Hey, what's up?" He's finishing his firefighters. I guess that was for the board game, the name which escapes me at the moment. But yeah, he looks like Larry's on. He's also a CQ regular. He goes to Thursdays mostly, but I think we'll see him in a few Tuesdays.
Oh, sweet.
What's up, Larry? So, yeah, I think right now with us being, I really think that we're at the ground floor of this game, and the more people that are just like, hey, I'll show up on a Tuesday, or I'll go to your event, Corey. It always helps, and
yeah,
and it will help. Hopefully, it will help get the game into your store, so that you can pick up some more players in your region, and then we can do really cool stuff. Maybe we can do larger scale organized play, like leagues or tournaments, or we could do a campaign. That would be interesting to do something like that too. Very cool.
Yeah, so if you want, I can let you know what my goals are as far as pushing forward with Ninja.
Yeah, sure.
So we talked about this a couple of times, just you and me on Facebook and stuff. But my goal is just to start small. But you kind of have to with some stuff. Especially because I don't really know the following as far as how people are going to want to get into the game and stuff. So my goal right now is this event is just going to be, a demo day, show it, Relic Knights has to offer, gauge the interest, and then from there, maybe host a tournament day where it's more of an achievement league style, where you just come in, even if you only played a couple games, bring what you got. I'm sure we'll have a couple loner armies out there for just new people.
Yep.
basically get them out there, learn the game while playing in a tournament style, um, like you guys did with Malifaux. I thought that was one of the best times I've ever had in actual gaming. So um,
Yeah, we got to sit down and build a little achievement packet for that, and it's been on my to-do list, so I can look at that. Obviously, I would encourage anybody else to try to put together a packet. But so Andrew, have you ever done any like achievement packet or achievement leagues for a War Machine or anything like that?
No, I have not, but I've been watching the Mini Wargaming League, and I thought that was actually really cool.
Okay. Well, just to let you know, we back when we were big Malifaux promoters, I invented something that we call a one-day achievement league. And what you do is you show up and you play it like a tournament format. In other words, you play rounds against other opponents. But the goal isn't necessarily to win the games. You're actually just trying to achieve specific achievements. And it's a much more casual event. It's designed for people to learn the game. So, for example, an achievement might be something like, use 3 or more redirects in a game. So, if it happens, you're playing a game and you happen to pull off 3 redirects, then you get the achievement, right? And the achievement packets usually have somewhere in the area of like 3 dozen to like 50 or more achievements. And at the end of the day, the tournament organizer will collect all the achievements and award out to people who have achieved the most achievements during the day, or people that were people who might have had the nicest looking army or favorite opponent, best sportsman. So it's a much more casual event, but it gets you a lot of games in a day, and you get to meet some really cool people, and so it's that you get the benefits of a tournament without necessarily having to be a competitive player. So that was a very popular event when we were pushing Malifaux, and so Corey has a good idea to bring it into this game as well.
Honestly, I think I'd love that a lot more than just a basic tournament, because tournaments are great and all, but after a tournament, you're kind of burned out. You're kind of just like, wow, my brain worked extremely hard that day. And you kind of just want to take a break from the game sometimes, which is kind of scary to think about. Like, you played the game so hard that you're like, it's time to take a little break from that.
It literally burned your brain.
Exactly. And so, I mean, good stressful tournaments and high competitive environments can be a bunch of fun. As long as no one goes super, like, beast mode, I guess you can say, and be like, whoa, man, whoa, whip out the tape measure one more time, I just want to check that, and then you check it, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to do my action, whoa, man, let me just make sure you can do that, and then whips out the rule book, and then you're like, alright, I'm going to take my follow-up move, whoa, man, put the tape measure back on. It's basically kind of sitting you there, and being just like a kind of a judge to every single move you make. And sometimes
you sound like this has happened to you before.
No, it honestly hasn't happened to that extent where every single move I made had to be measured or judged, but it has gone to a point where I have played. I think there was maybe once in my wargaming career where I don't want to say a bad opponent, but kind of just like a rule jockey, I guess you can say.
Yep.
And I mean, that's not a bad thing necessarily, because I mean that's the way the game was written. Is it's got rules and they're supposed to be followed. But sometimes when you want to do something cool, right, and the guy just stays completely silent, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna set it up. Okay, cool. All right, I got it off. It cost me a lot of resources, and the guy's like, oh yeah, by the way, that thing has stealth, and you're just like, oh, there goes my boosted defender shot.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, like, but then again, it is a rule. I mean, the guy could be like, oh, you didn't know that. And I have a lot of, actually, the goods outweigh the bads. I've had a lot of opponents who said, oh, yeah, you didn't know that, and you can take that back, sort of deal.
I am all about that.
I agree. I'm all about that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I even tell people, like, yo, if you want to re-roll that, because that shouldn't happen. Like I've done that once or twice in a tournament because of just something that was really bad. Like a guy needed to get off an assassination, and he needed 7s on 3 dice or something like that. And I was like, yo, you just rolled triple ones. You can re-roll that. You don't deserve that. Especially in a tournament setting, that's just like heart wrenching. You're like, wow, I don't want to play this game for a while.
Yeah, that can be pretty crushing. And I agree with you about the brain burning. Some of these games that are really, have really intensive rule sets, and you're working at different manipulations of stuff that can totally burn your brain. I can see that happening. That used to happen with us in Malifaux too, when we were, because of the way the abilities worked, and sometimes some of the weirdest situations would come up that you, after the games, you'd actually feel a little bit tired from just having to manipulate your brain to understand all of what just happened.
Yeah, and I'm not. It might seem that I'm bagging on War Machine, but I'm not. Actually, that's still probably one of my favorite games of all time, like video
Yeah,
game
and you
otherwise.
did point out that. Yeah, and you pointed out that it was pretty rare for you to run into like a rules lawyer or anything like that. I think that speaks well of your local community in general. That you're not running into the negative play experience guy.
Oh yeah,
that, is just going to argue.
That guy that I was talking about, that one guy, he actually never showed up to a tournament ever again. So I think he either flew in or was just there for a while or moved. I haven't encountered that rule jockey guy in like 4 years of play.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's really good, because even though I still remember like just not being very pleased during the game, it was only one game, and that was 4 years ago. So I mean, like the community.
I will admit that I've had a number of bad experiences like that playing 40K.
Oh my God! Don't even start me down that road.
But I also played 40K for over a decade, so I've had more opportunities to run into. We'll call them less than fun players. But yeah, I've had that happen quite a bit in 40K. And then these smaller games, these skirmish games, it's harder to. For me, it's been much less frequent.
Yeah, I think the community is overall just really great, because there were games where I literally was like, wow, even though I lost, that guy was just a really great guy and just a joy to play against. And I mean, that actually happened at the War Machine tournament recently. I was like, even though I made a boneheaded mistake and it was kind of like a bad loss on my part, I still loved playing against the guy. Just like the sort of spirit that he had for the game was really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it honestly, this game depends on kind of your outlook as well, like just tabletop wargaming in general, because you can have like two really rule like cutthroat guys, the rule jockeys or the rule lawyers, play against each other, and hell, they might have a blast because they're kind of just going at each other like, yeah, this rule. And the other guy's like, whoa, bro, you forgot the index. Check the subsection clarifications on the FAQ and the erratas, and you can see that I can run this. And then everyone's mind is blown in that situation. They're like, yo, I like you. And you're like, I like you too. It's those situations where like you can be anything in this game, and there's someone out there that you'll find and just be like, wow, that was cool. Even though I lost, it was still great to play against that person.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of it does have to do with context. So yeah, I totally agree. Cameron has one more question. I've seen some things labeled Void and Radiant, and this effing amazing model called Harbonath. Will those be playable at some point? Well, Cameron, I do actually own a Harbonath model. I painted him. I painted him on a live show. I want to say about a month ago. So there's that. I'll show you. Here's on my painting table. I'll get to her eventually when I'm done with commissions. But here's the Void Herald. Her name is Amelia, I believe. So really cool model, kind of an angel style character. Yeah, some of the models like this model is ridiculous, amazing. Oh wait, I gotta show you this, Cameron, because I know you're gonna love it. See, we are gonna sell you this game.
Oh yes.
But
I've already got the
so
credit card marker out.
So this is Dark Space Candy and Cola, and the Dark Space models are cosplay models. So this is Candy and Cola is the Soda Pop Miniatures mascot, and her in cosplay is Chun-Li. So you can see, and I know it's kind of tough to see right here, but this is her in a Chun-Li outfit. And I think there is a painted one on the Relic Knights Facebook. But see, I've got models like this waiting in the wings for when I do finish my commission stuff, which has been amazing. So really, and Dark Space Harbonath is a really fun model too. Like we mentioned earlier, Andrew's playing Prism, right? So Andrew, do you want to explain to us what Prism and Void are for Cameron's benefit?
All right. Well, in the long run, I'll tell you the short run and then the long run. If you think of War Machine Mercenaries, that's kind of how they play, where they can take uniques from other factions, or you can take this model as your knight and then put uniques into it from other factions. So that's like a little bit kind of how it works in the short run. And the gaming wise is that they kind of feel like mercs. However, you can run a full prismatic or a full void army, and those actually beat face like really hard. But there's essentially a good and an evil to this universe of Dark Space. The Radiants, right? Correct? Is that how they're pronounced? Yep. The Radiants, they're technically everything that's good in the universe. They're the creation, they're the law, and they're the I can't even remember what doctrine is, and that's my faction.
Essence.
The essence. They're all three of those combined, and Radiance will use all three of those espers. So technically, you can never have a quote-unquote bad hand because you use 3 of the 6 espers in the game. Also, on the flip side of that coin, Void is technically everything that is evil. It's I can't remember, chaos.
Chaos, corruption,
and I didn't really look at the bad guys that much, so it's not really.
And, entropy.
Entropy, yes, the red's the entropy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically at that point you can run Harbonath with I think those three factions, right? You can take uniques from them.
Yes.
And run that in a Harbonath army. And just wreck face. But you can also take the Harbonath and the Void models together in a sort of like just all-out Void, we're everything evil in the world type of faction, and just beat face with that too. Because I'm looking at these cards, and they've got some crazy abilities.
Yeah, I played Harbonath a couple of times, and he was really strong, but I don't know. He just didn't suit my play style. The model is freaking amazing, though, for sure.
Oh yeah, and if you want to actually pick that up early, now would probably be the time to start like browsing Facebook and eBay, because a lot of people are kind of discouraged about the game. Which I mean, I don't blame them because they might be in sort of a dead zone where there's no players. But you can actually pick up a lot of models and for cheap on eBay. Amazon's more of the retail stuff, but eBay and Facebook, especially that group, you can find a lot of trades, and a lot of people are posting up dollar amounts that they're willing to shell out their models for. So if you want Harbonath, now strike while the iron is hot, I guess I can say.
And it also, though, as a general comment, Soda Pop has mentioned that they are no longer doing, they're no longer doing special edition, or I'm sorry, I should say limited edition models. They will have special edition models, but long story short, they want it so that if you want a particular piece and you need to game with a particular piece, you will have access to it. at some point or other. What it does mean is that like those void models and some of the dark space models, it may take them a while to see general release, but eventually they will. So you can take some comfort in that eventually you'll have access to everything. They did just do a sale on their online store for dark space stuff during PAX. So we were able to get to. I actually bought some more dark space models to finish up my collection of dark space. But for example, I'm waiting on the Radiant Knight 2 because I know you're getting one, but I never got one, and I want to get one, but I know I believe it's in the October release, which means it's November in the store. But I know I can wait if I don't want it to. If I don't find one at a decent price, and I probably won't, I'll just wait for it to show up in the store, which is also cool. So, but yeah, I mean, if I were in your shoes though, and you can't wait till November because that's a long ways away, and you were actually able to trade and get a really good deal out of it. So for sure, I would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah, it was a Storm Raven, no, 2 Storm Ravens and a Pred fully magnetized, and a couple extra Storm Raven bits for just a bunch of RK stuff that wasn't even released.
Nice.
So that technically, I mean, I don't really play Space Marines all that much anymore, and I don't even necessarily touch my Tau either, but Tau is my most favored faction out of the 2, so I was thinking, if I'm going to be playing Tau in the rare occasions that I do play 40k, might as well start kind of pushing off my Space Smurfs.
Sure.
And I mean, I only traded 3 models that I originally got from back in the days when GW didn't go all, oh yes, this is a flyer now, so we can double its price. So I mean, like basically, I got my Ravens for I think it was about $40 each, and the Pred I got from a trade back in the days. So technically, it was very cheap for me to do that trade, monetarily wise.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm just super excited about the Candyland theme that I've got brewing in my brains for my future Prismatic army.
So are you actually going to use like cotton for cotton candy, or are you going to...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pillow fluff. Basically, what I did for smoke markers back in the days for 40k, I'm going to just take that, get some, hopefully if I can find some pink spray paint, and just give it a light dab, and boom, you got some cotton candy for the base.
That's cool. Yeah, I imagine you could, if you had an airbrush, you could also do that too. Just airbrush the, airbrush that pink on there.
Also, what's it called? The Cornelia Clean, she has a little heart cloud on her base, and going with the Candyland theme, I'm going to paint that exactly like one of those Valentine candy hearts and put Be Mine in the cloud.
That's cool.
I was just like, when I thought of that, I was like, oh goodness, this is going to be a fun army to paint. So yeah, most of my artistic skills is actually in the basing of models rather than the actual paint scheme.
That's cool. Yeah, I wish I was a little bit better at the building and converting stuff. Who's crazy talented stuff like that is Minutes on the Sun. John, who's watching right now. He does full-on sculpting, but I mean, even his like converted models are just amazing. It's one of my things that I've got in the back of my gamer to-do list. Is at some point I want to try my hand at sculpting. But I know that requires a lot of patience and a lot of practice to do well.
Yeah, because fingerprints is really the big bummer of sculpting.
Yeah, and just even getting used to green stuff and gray stuff and all that.
Oh, exactly. But yeah, what's it called? Like, I had another thought. I think it's just the lack of sleep recently that's been kind of rotting my brain.
Okay.
What is it? Oh, yeah, got it. I found it. If Cam's still listening, actually, I was really pleased to hear that RK is welcome to converted models, and
Hmm.
that you can actually, as long as 50% of the stuff that you're using to convert is RK, and it is
Or soda pop.
Oh yeah, soda. Oh, soda pop. Oh, that always
Yes.
just opens the damn doors because then you can use anima tactics stuff and all that.
Hmm.
Basically, what you can do is go into a shop and just get everything you need to build Harbonath. As long as you make sure that 50% of it is soda pop stuff, and what's it called? It's recognizable as Harbonath. You can use that, and I'm
Yep.
pretty sure people would be open to that because they'll be like, "Wow, you just created like," and it would be awesome to see a fallen angel Harbonath.
Hmm.
How sick would that be if you took either some demon wings or some angelic wings, slap that on maybe one of the existing relics from Relic Knights, and make a sort of fallen angel Sebastian Cross Harbonath? That would just be amazing.
That would be pretty cool.
Because Sebastian Cross is literally like the holy guy of the game, and you just take that idea of the model and make him a fallen angel, and you are
He's
just golden.
even his pose is even very similar to Harbonath.
Exactly.
The way that the models are set up. That's kind of a cool idea. That's awesome. One of the things I was thinking of is I picked up the Super Dungeon Explorer Relic Knights minis,
Oh,
which
nice.
are phenomenal, like chibi style. They're the chibi style one shot um, and Sebastian and all that stuff. And I was like, man,
Oh
those
yeah.
would make some pretty awesome. Those would make awesome miniatures for Relic Knights too. I was thinking about maybe doing something like that, like a chibi themed prismatic force.
Yeah, I was looking into that, and I actually was looking around CQ the other day, and I was kind of sad that they only had one chibi model in, and it wasn't only that it was just one model. It was also it's kind of a little bit expensive for those models. It's about $13
Oh yeah.
for one.
Hmm.
So I mean, in the long run, you're gonna have a really fantastic looking force, but it's gonna cost you a significantly uh, bigger amount than what you probably thought it would take to just start the normal army.
Yeah, I had the benefit of the ninja points, so I was able to just cash in some ninja points and get them uh, from running all the convention stuff earlier in the year.
Oh,
So that
sweet
was nice.
news.
Yep. But I'm looking. I haven't even gotten to those models, and those are fantastic models. Really looking forward to painting some of that stuff up. So I don't know how I did it, but I'm ended up painting up the one shot, which is also one of my commissions right now. Is I've got a Relic Knights commission. So one of the things that happened, another thing that happened at Strategicon, which was kind of cool, was there were some people there that were familiar with Play It Painted, and they wanted to have some of their stuff done for us, and that's where I picked up some commissions at the show, and so that was kind of cool. That means that I use the commission money generally to pay for daycare for my kid. So got that going for me, and the fact that I can keep doing my hobby, and when I'm not taking money away from the family, I'm actually adding a little bit is always kind of nice. So all right, let's reload comments one more time. We're approaching the 2 hour mark here for the show, so we're going to be wrapping up here fairly shortly, unless people have other topics we want to discuss here. Let's see. No. Oh, I missed this comment like 20 minutes ago. That's the one thing that's missing from Malifaux tournament score. They need soft scores for best sportsman or best army. Yeah, that actually, and I hate to keep talking about a subject that we consider dead locally, but we did have that in Troy. We did have that in the organized play documents at the end of 1.5. It was actually included, and I had worked on some of those documents with Weird. So they did used to have it. I don't know what they're doing now though with it. So anyway, so yeah, sorry I missed that one. Oh, what was that? All right, so let's see here. So a couple of things just to kind of wrap up. We're heading towards the end of our. Let me go Q&A too and see if we missed anybody. No, that's about it. So we've got a lot going on. It's an exciting time for Relic Knights. We're at the ground floor here. We've got some events coming up. Corey's event, obviously, at the end of this month. Again, that's down at Paradise Games in Vista. Hopefully, Corey will post that on the new Facebook group.
Yes, I will.
Then we also have the tournament that I'll be hosting at the end of October, which also happens to be an Extra Life event now. So really excited about doing a little fundraising and having an excuse for us to get together and play some more games. So those are the things that are going on. Anything else that we're missing?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, pretty good discussion this week. I really enjoyed having you guys on. I'm going to reload comments one more time, and again, if you guys have anything else you want to add.
Yeah, just if you're interested, come check out my event. It's going to be my first ever event, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is your first. This is your first foray into. No, but I mean, you've helped at some of the cons and stuff with me.
Yeah, but this is more of like something that I don't want to say that I didn't run any of your events, because I mean, I really didn't. I just kind of helped you. This is gonna be more. I want to say more of like this time you guys are more helping me, if that's what I want to say, I guess.
Yep.
Whereas I'm gonna take the reins and hopefully I can follow suit of what you guys do. I'm sure there's gonna be a couple of hiccups along the way, but yeah, just come down and hopefully you can support the game, get it going down where I'm at, to hopefully grow the game bigger. So.
Hey, as long as we have fun, that's all that's important.
Yeah. Honestly, just the presence of breaking out a board and having people enjoy playing the game and having those moments where there's a bunch of guys around the table and they just bust out because something crazy happened. Like the presence.
That was pretty fun when I was doing that erratic defense flips and everyone was watching it.
Exactly. And I just noticed that the whole store went quiet because there was a lot of chatting about, I don't remember what they're talking about, but as soon as that happened, like the whole store kind of went quiet and was kind of paying attention to what was going on at our table. So I mean, just the presence of a really intense game, and not only intense but fun game going down, is a big draw to some people, because it's not necessarily about the wins and losses, it's about the memories that the game creates.
Absolutely. Yeah, well said.
Yeah,
right.
And one more thing, Octave. I'm actually, this is kind of a little out of topic, but I'm dorming, I'm going to try and make it down to Tactical Tuesday, like maybe once a month, because it's just such like a fun event, and hopefully if I can get some of my buddies in on it while I'm dorming, just bust out a table, be like, hey guys, want to play a game? And because Yu-Gi-Oh! Blew up, like I was telling you. So if that happens, I might be able to get some, I guess you can say, recruits coming down.
Cool, yeah.
From my area when I'm in college. So hopefully if that works out, because we might just end up carpooling to Tactical Tuesday in that case, me and a couple buddies.
That would be awesome, man, yeah.
Yeah, because we literally, no joke, carpooled to a Yu-Gi-Oh event, just to grab some games of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it was a good like hour drive, maybe a little bit more. So I mean that's the same distance to CQ, if not just a little bit less, about 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, you're at La Sierra, right? That's
Yep.
I make the drive from here into Highland, which is San
Oh
Bernardino,
dang.
Redlands area.
Yeah,
It's
that's
further in.
far.
No, actually, no. I do that all the time, and it's about an hour. From La Sierra, it's as long as you don't have traffic, it's probably more like 40 minutes or so. It's really
Yeah.
not that.
And if you're doing toll, which is, I mean, like I kind of hate the toll because it's like, wow, that's a solo I could have just bought right there. But
Yeah.
but basically, like it's only 30 minutes you're taking toll, and especially the night drives are beautiful through that road. So I mean, I guess you can say it's kind of worth.
Cool.
Just for the drive, that is. I mean, getting the games in itself is awesome. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to try and at least once a month when the tests aren't crazy. I mean, that will just be kind of like my, you know what, you deserve it because you're taking science.
That's what you earned, right?
Yeah, you're taking science and that kind of wrecks you. Because, I mean, the all-nighters and all that, I mean, they're fun once in a while because you got to study for a test. But after, like, the fourth or fifth one, you're kind of like, it's not so much fun anymore.
Yeah, and getting out to game is always a good thing. So.
Oh, yeah, and especially if I can get some especially my roommate. He's game to play basically anything, as long as it's fun.
Okay.
So basically, especially if I have two factions, that would kind of take the financial pressure off of him because, we're all college students and we all got those loans to pay. But basically, we might just drive down. He might use one faction, I might use another faction, grab some games, play some stuff, and then just go back to school.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you guys want to try other stuff, I typically have a bunch of stuff on me too, and always willing to lend out my stuff as well. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean the game is cheap enough to the point where it's kind of like if Christmas is rolling around or your birthday's rolling around, it's so easy to get everything you need just for like the fraction of a price of what it would cost. Because I was actually talking. I don't remember if I was talking to you or Cameron about this. And I was like, wow, you can get a tournament-ready list, the deck, the tokens, the playmat, every single thing, the mini rulebook, every single thing you need to play the game, and then some, for about $80. And then I turned around and I was like, that's the cost of a Centurion box from GW.
It's true.
And I mean, like, that's crazy. Right there, you get a whole new game, whole new feel, everything you need, and you can play at tournaments for less than one GW product. That's a unit.
That is pretty crazy. So, sweet. Okay, well, yeah. Again, I appreciate you guys hopping on. I actually finished this commission, which is nice. That means I get to move over to the Black Diamond commission,
Nice.
and I'll get started on that this week. Hopefully I can actually get it done this week because I'm getting kind of greedy here and want to work on my own stuff that I just picked up. So, yeah. So anyway, let me reload comments one last time. We are actually at the 2-hour mark in our show. It tends to run about 2 hours. So, so let's see. Any other comments? No, I think that's it for comments. Again, want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks for hopping on, Andrew and Corey. Thanks, guys, for joining the show.
Yeah,
It's all good, dude.
And, yeah, we will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks again.
All right, later.
Yeah.